All right, everyone, welcome to the first episode of the CoVA Tennis Brews and Crew podcast. Woo! Now we have to cheers.
So brews as in coffee brews?
Coffee brews.
Or alcoholic brews. Seltzer brew will pass for the day.
For me, it's going to be coffee because it's 5 o'clock on a Sunday.
Any other day, it would be mostly brews.
Mostly brews, that's right. So we wanted to expand the CoVA Tennis channel to have a podcast on it because we don't really have anything like this in the area at all.
Yeah.
And we wanted to just kind of showcase, some different people, different players and our friends from the area who play with us and talk about tennis, whether it's professional tennis, USTA tennis, UTR, anything related to tennis, and just kind of give our opinions, answer questions, talk about our experiences, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and give them a flavor of the beach. So we're from the coastal Virginia area, so that's what CoVA's for. Coastal Virginia.
Coastal Virginia, baby.
Yeah. We're specifically in Virginia Beach, but we represent the whole Tidewater area. We're a little bit different, I think, in the flavor of how we present ourselves as tennis players, as an area, as a collective. So we're going to share our flavor with the world.
Woo, our flavor. Okay, so let's introduce ourselves. So you can go first.
Okay, so I'm going to give my Jeopardy answer. So my name is JR. I'm 40. I have 2 beautiful children who are girls. I'm a girl dad. And a beautiful wife who, the 3 of them support me so much through this. And they go to all our matches, sometimes our practices.
They make cute signs.
Yeah, make signs, especially for James. They've never made me one.
They never did?
They never have. They made you one,
I'm so special.
made you multiple, made Mike a couple. But they're there all the time. And they actually helped us set up this beautiful podcast set. So kudos to them.
It has come together really nicely.
Yeah, really nice. So this is totally a representation of us as a group, but definitely James. So this definitely wouldn't be something that I could put together on my own. So that's
well, the girls decorated. I just thought it would be a cool idea, and we have a nice backdrop with this wall. So I was like, oh, it'll be cool. But let's talk about, okay, so we have your age. What about your USTA level, your UTR?
My USTA level is 4.5. Started playing again on the USTA circuit like 4 years ago. Started at 4.0 with James. We'll go into a little bit how we met and how we came to this point. Right, so 4.5 USTA, UTR, I have no idea. I think it's 7 point something, upper 7s, low 8s maybe, depending on what they rate me at.
So I looked this up.
Yeah? So what is it?
It says, JR's, I put it in 2 ways, singles and doubles. So it's in singles, you're a 6.XX, and doubles, you're a 7.XX. So
Okay,
it doesn't
that makes sense.
I think you maybe haven't played enough matches or something.
Yeah, I have not played a singles match in USTA league play, I don't think.
You did last year.
Did I? In the sectional, so that counts? Does
Yeah,
that
counts. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm thinking maybe the other people were not UTR rated either. I don't know, but maybe that's why you have double X.
So the XX, yeah. Okay. How'd you find that? Well, I need to do
when
definitely
I
just
this morning.
So I need to definitely learn how to just navigate the XX. So that's part of my 40, and James is 30 or 30 now.
Yes.
30.
30.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sadly.
So age difference and sadly technology difference. So.
Well, I'm James. Like JR said, not just turned. God, now it's like 6 months ago. I turned 30.
Was it really?
So this is 10. So 5 months ago.
Oh my God.
I turned 40 or 30. Lord, I'm not 40. Turned 30. My USTA level is a 4.0. I've been a 4.0 since I started playing USTA. Originally, when I took the questionnaire or survey or whatever it's called, it said I was a 3.5, and then I just read the description. And I bumped myself up to 4.0.
Okay.
Not knowing any implications of what that meant. I had no one that I knew in USTA at the time, so as an adult. So yeah, so I'm a 4.0. I've been a 4.0 for, I guess, like 7 years now, I want to say. And then for my UTR, I thought this was interesting. And so it says I'm a 6.99 in singles and a 7.09 in doubles.
Really?
So
it's kind of flipped.
If you know me in person, doubles, I win doubles matches because of my partner, not because of me. So I'm not sure why it's flipped. Maybe because I've played less singles matches, and maybe
have you?
Most leagues you play besides like men's is men's 4.0 is
That's
doubles.
True. Okay.
So you're probably if we go to sectionals or regionals, you're playing higher level people.
Yeah. So USTA has a mixed rating. Does it?
If you only play if you only play mixed, you'll get an M.
Okay, interesting.
So like I'm 4.0 appealed, but if you have there's appeal, DQ'd, or D for disqualified, M, and then I think and then C for computer.
rated.
So
Okay.
he's 4.0 computer, 4.5 computer. I'm 4.0 appeal. And then yeah, it was strange that my UTR was in doubles was higher than singles.
Okay. So UTR was actually founded down here in Virginia Beach.
It was
by
in Coastal Virginia,
So
baby.
we've got some flavor down here that you guys don't even know about.
Yes.
So I definitely need to learn more about it because I remember back in the day when they were founding that whole algorithm, and 20-something years later, I don't understand it still. So
I know I don't really get it either. I know it. I mean, I just look at my number and I think it's interesting. But I think with our area, it's hard because we're a big area, but our tennis community is. I mean, we have a lot of players, but in terms of league play, it's not that much, right? So we play the same people in every single league for the most part, over and over and over. So it's hard for. Is our UTR levels that accurate? I'm not sure. I think they're pretty accurate, but I'd have to base it off of people I've played at like regionals or sectionals.
Yeah.
That would be probably the best gauge, I think. Maybe not for you because you know your league was newer this year, but for me, I've played the same people for like the entirety of my 7 years.
I'd say yours is probably pretty accurate.
Mine's probably more accurate.
It's interesting how the doubles was higher, but
I
you
don't know how the doubles rating must be rigged because I'm absolutely a singles player. Even though lately I'm preferring doubles more, but singles comes more naturally to me. So you guys can probably see that in all the videos when you watch his highlights and I'm playing doubles. It's not good. So let's talk about how we met. And so I'll let you go first. I think we'll probably have a similar story, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I actually looked at the YouTube channel today.
Oh, you did?
And I didn't remember how many years I've been playing.
Okay.
And I founded the channel back in 2020 as a way for me to document my own game because I've been out of the game for like 15 years. And my game back then was definitely archaic in terms of my racket, which we'll get to today. And also what were you using?
You used that Ratchet Babolat?
Yeah, Babolat Pure Strike. Actually, I used my Prince Triple Threat Warrior, which is from 2000.
It's okay. Babolat and Prince, we still want to sponsor, so love you guys.
I had a Babolat Pure Strike, and my swing mechanics were definitely not what they are now, although we're still working through it, right? But yeah, so that was back in April 2020. So that was definitely a COVID year, a COVID year, where we were definitely out there grinding outdoors, playing safe, socially distancing across the net, right? So we had met by, we have now a very common group of friends that we call brothers now, teammates, brothers, that back then as I got acclimated to the area playing tennis again, we had a group chat of folks that at that time I had no idea who they were. My brother Ryan was assembling a team for 4.0 that consisted of a lot of James's friends that he had met. And we had a little birdie in the group that knew a lot of people and a lot of things that he couldn't divulge because he was a treasured 4.0 player at the time. And so I went to go practice one day. James was not there, but a bunch of other people were. And the next week, James actually showed up and I showed up. We were practicing at a local high school. And honestly, when my first impression of you, based on the school you went to, I was like, this guy's going to be an a-hole. He's going to be pretentious. He's not going to be able to be talked to. He's going to think he's better than everybody else. Definitely not the demeanor that I thought you would be. And as a competitor in my previous days, my first inclination was, I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
Right? But I met James, so I practiced, definitely wasn't in the best shape. I don't know if you challenged me to a match, or we were just playing matches.
No, I think your brother said this.
Okay, yeah.
To see like level,
yeah,
where I was level. I'm almost certain.
Yeah. I think everyone was playing a match, but I definitely was not match ready, right? But we played a match.
Singles, baby.
So I'm by history a doubles player, and I'll tell you some stories about that. But I was like, hey, if I'm going to play, I'm going to play, and I'll find out if my body makes it through. And I definitely lost that set at the least 6-2. Right? You were running me ratchet around the court. My hips were not turning the way they could, and they're probably not much better now, but definitely back then I felt it. And surprisingly, coming out of that, I wasn't like mad about it like I would be normally. And that's kind of where I level set my expectation of what I expect for tennis as a player versus what I was before. And you weren't definitely as a-holy as I thought you would be. So it was a cool beginning. Right?
Yeah, that's the same story. I mean, I remember coming out to a practice, and it was, but I thought it was in October. The league was in April.
Yeah. So the first match I actually recorded because I was like, oh, I'm buying into this is April. So that was October when we played.
October of 2019.
Yeah.
So that was before the pandemic. So we weren't breaking any rules.
It was like right about when the pandemic.
Don't come at us in the comments.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah,
That's
it was
actually, yeah,
October or
right.
November of 2019. And I think we had already had most of our team together at that point.
Right, and you were the
And
gem.
I was definitely one of
Yeah,
for a reason. Yeah, I was one of the last ones. Yeah.
Yeah. The birdie was calling for you, and you tweeted back.
But no, but I mean, I have a similar story where I went out to a practice, and I don't remember what happened in the practice exactly, except that we ended up playing a single set, and then I did win, and I do remember running you left and right. That was like my goal, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. But I had never met him. I really didn't know your brother much at that time either.
Yeah.
I think that's how it is, because then he was asked, or he had talked to other people on my team, and I was like, oh, these are all my friends, and
Okay.
I want to be on this team with
I never
all my
asked
friends.
about that, actually. That's a long
We'll have to look back at the dates.
We'll go back on
when you
this
turn 30 and 40, the memory fades. Okay, so I just remember he asked, maybe I came out to a practice in October of 2019, but I was not committed on the team.
I think so. I think it was a week before I was there.
And then in January, I was like, okay, I'll probably play on your team, but I have to like deal with something.
Yeah.
So
that was a whole thing.
That was a thing. Believe me, I know it was a whole thing.
God.
I heard about it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But same story with how we met, and then we've been on the same teams and we've been friends ever since. But it's just funny where it all started. It doesn't seem that long ago, I guess, but at the same time, because with the pandemic and stuff, it does feel kind of like a lifetime ago.
For me, I looked at the time, I was like, wow, 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, 3.5 years. So it hasn't been that long. Well, yeah, I
Relative,
guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have the same, pretty similar story with how we met. It would be interesting to see, like on future guests on the podcast, people who were there, what they
their perception of how that materialized.
Because I think most, like Sean and Dean and Brian, at least, I think all of them were there.
Yeah,
at that
they were all there. Yeah, so related to that, the week after, now the team was formed, we started building. So you'll notice in all our videos, we're all very tight, and we try to like make sure that we all feel like a family, like brothers, and we do things that most teams don't normally do, and it shows in how we present ourselves personally, and also as we go out of the area playing playoffs.
Yeah.
So most of us are Filipino, and James is the by association Filipino, so he's now Filipino by heart. And we had a practice at like 10 o'clock, and our homie Brian Espertezuka, who you'll see in the next video, offered to bring lumpia to the practice.
And then Sean brought like those peppers.
That's right. That's right. And then the next week, Mike brought fried rice.
Yes.
And then on your birthday,
I brought nothing.
Yeah.
But I brought my personality.
And then we actually had your birthday party at the same area.
Well, no, but that was a couple months later. That was during the pandemic, which we were distanced.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of knowing that, okay, this group is cool.
That's when I remember too, because that's when I really felt like in a USTA league, it was like a team. Like it really felt like we all were getting closer and we all supported each other. And I would agree with what you're saying, because like even now, I mean, most of us have been on the same team or teams, but if there's local tournaments, at least some of us will show up to support each other, whether we're playing or not. And so I think we are pretty tight knit, and I think we still have weekly practices for the most part. That we try to even after our league ends, and so it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And even like reflecting, I'm like, I don't think that maybe teams in other areas experience this, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but definitely not here.
Yeah, I've been told, and other teams that y'all are different for sure. Yeah. Like just the way they can tell we're closer.
Yeah, we're a unit here, so we try to support each other as much as we can.
Yeah.
So that is how we met. So let's talk about our tennis backgrounds. So just kind of cover, how did you start playing tennis? Where did you grow up playing? Did you take lessons, like formal lessons at a club? Did you take tennis seriously as a junior? Like how far did you get? And then when, if so, did you start taking tennis more seriously?
So when did I start playing? I started playing when I was a kid, around the age of 4 or 5. I have 3 siblings, 2 older brothers, who both are avid tennis players and tennis coaches, and so they were always beating up on me on everything we do.
Your sister's good too, though.
And my sister played also, so I was kind of her coach and her training partner, whatever. But since they started playing also when they were young, I started playing when I was pretty young. My claim to fame, my pride, our pride as a family, is that we were never trained through a formal coach or anything at the country club. We were formulated and formed by the streets, the public courts of Virginia Beach.
The streets?
So we still do this today, till this day. And so now I'm a tennis coach also, including as also being the content creator and captain of teams and player of teams. But I push a lot playing on the public courts because that's really how when you go out to play, you play people that aren't of your club. You play people that you don't know.
Rise and grind.
Yeah, exactly. Put on a shirt. So we grew up on the streets playing tennis, on the public courts, playing with the family, getting out there with my dad, who's not by any means a high-level player, right? But he's a high-level motivator, and being a Filipino dad from the Navy, so he was out there, get up early, go get it, play every day, pretty much after school. On the weekends, play from like 8 to 4. And if you do well, if you do what I say, you can go do fun things after that, right?
Yeah.
But do what you got to do on the tennis court, right? And so for me, it was pretty serious growing up, just by default, right? And having my brothers who can play, that can beat me up and kind of build that inner drive in me that I still have today to always keep on.
Just that competitiveness,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly like
Because
that.
you don't want to lose to your brother.
Yeah.
I mean, that's lame.
And I do remember losing, and I ran straight to the van. It's exactly at the court where I teach now, at the public courts. My dad had his van at the court number 1, right behind it, and I stormed off that court. We were playing on court number 2. I got so pissed, I just ran off to the court, ran into the van and started crying. So.
And you didn't take any lessons?
Yeah, so no lessons. I remember.
That's interesting. So you're self-taught. Well, your dad, I understand.
Yeah, self-taught through the family, and I actually read a lot of Tennis Magazine. So they'd have one page on Tennis Magazine
I still get that.
But I don't think they have the excerpt that I used to always learn from every month. It'd be a 2-pager where there'd be like 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 blocks of the building of a stroke, right? So I'd go through that, and I'd look at this player, and try to do what they do in a magazine. So there's no YouTube back then. For us, there was no formal coach. They were just learning, going out there playing, and using your brain and your muscle memory to try to build your strokes.
He brought that magazine to the streets.
So yeah, that was a pretty cool thing. And I talked to people that are in our Filipino community and that kind of grew up in the same like environment as us, and they were like, yeah, Tennis Magazine, that was our coach.
And did you play tournaments growing up, or were you exclusively just hitting with random people at the courts?
So we played tournaments. So in addition to playing with like my family and like uncles, so in the Filipino community, uncle is anyone that's older than you.
Everyone, I'm an uncle.
So James is an uncle.
Kids now.
James is my daughter's favorite uncle.
Christmases have become expensive.
Yes, Uncle James. So yeah, we play with them. That's informal stuff, but that's our training, right? That's our match play. And then we play tournaments too. I play tournaments on the weekends, and at that time there's a big crop of players in the area. That a lot of them went D1, D2, D3. Unfortunately, I didn't, and that's one of my big regrets. But I know I could hang with them, so if I can go back, I'd play more. Trying to go to college, but I had different plans of other stuff, with academics. But definitely played on the weekends every week at a lot of the same courts that are around here. Some of them have been closed and are taken over by pickleball,
which we'll get to.
Yeah. But definitely fond memories going back there and training. So
that's interesting. I mean, my upbringing was a little bit different. I started playing when I was like 4 or 5. I remember we had a middle school with courts across the street from my parents' house, and my dad would take me there, and he was really athletic, so he was good at like various things and various different sports, and he could just pick something up and at least have the foundation to be successful. And so I would go and hit with him, and similarly, like if he beat me, which obviously he would, I would get really upset. I do remember, even though I was not a bad child, I remember with tennis and losing, I definitely threw a couple fits.
Yeah.
Until I got older.
Thinking about this, I'm like, man, I had a potty mouth, and I still have one, but I'm definitely not as bad as I was before.
I was bad. I got upset.
My grandma would tell me for sure, watch your mouth, boy.
But he taught me probably up until I was like 8 or 9, and then I went to our local club up the street. I mean, we have a couple clubs in the area, but the closest one to me was only like 5 minutes up the road. And I tried out for this high-level clinic with a bunch of different levels of kids there. And so I got in, and I played there for about maybe a year or so. And then I also bowl. I also did other sports growing up. Like I swam and I played soccer. But the main 2 ones were tennis and bowling. So I started taking bowling more seriously from like, I'm going to say 10 to 13. But in between that time frame, I did go back to playing tennis, probably when I was like 11, and I went back to that same clinic. Didn't have to try out again. But it was very competitive. It was a lot of high-level players. I took lessons. I did end up taking private lessons, but that was when I was older, like 16, 17.
Were those
maybe
with
15 through 17.
with the owners of the academy? Did they teach you directly?
Like with private lessons?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Damn.
I did that
So
too.
they had enough bandwidth to get privates to most of you guys and girls?
Because I mean, that was their full-time job, so
Yeah,
they made it work, you know. But there was a lot of kids that were super high level. I mean, I was middle of the road, not anything spectacular. I mean, not that I am now, but I definitely was like just average then. And, you know, probably when I was there, the crop of kids that went D1, I think it was at least 10 kids. Like high-level schools like Tennessee, Arkansas, Old Dominion, UVA, Navy, Michigan State, I want to. So it was a lot of different
schools.
A lot of different schools, and I did not turn out that way. So not that I would ever go D1, but big regret of mine. I wish I, like you, I wish I had at least. I feel like I could have done D3.
Yeah.
If I was as committed as I am now.
I saw a video today of a D3 match. I won't say who it was, but I was like, yeah, we could do this.
We could do it.
I don't know I don't remember far back because it was 20 years ago for me, but I was like, I played some really good D1 players back in the day in high school, and I'm pretty sure it looked better, but you never know until you get on the court, right?
But yeah, and I mean, it was, I do wish I took it more seriously back then. But I had another sport that I was passionate about, so it's okay.
So James is a very high level bowler. Last week he bowled a 244. When I watched him, was it 244? Okay,
No,
I'm sorry, 294.
266 or something. It doesn't matter.
See, I told you he's good. He's very good, very competitive. Now I didn't believe it. Then I went to go see it. So like you said, we're friends outside of tennis, and I love watching my friends and whatever. My whole family went to go watch him bowl, and I was like, okay, he's legit.
But I did not bowl well that day. So, but anyway, it was sucked that day.
So I had a question. So for that group of friends, do they still play?
Yes, one of them teaches tennis in the south part of the country.
He's back in town this weekend.
Yeah,
we could have brought him over. Next time
we're bringing him. Yeah. It would be interesting to get his point of view.
Yeah.
And then Victoria, she obviously still plays and still teaches. My friend Shannon, who was friends with Victoria, we were like a little unit back then. She owns a tennis club now. She built her own club in Arkansas. Mm-hmm.
Can we go over there?
Probably. I don't.
She runs it. Her family runs it.
Yeah, they built it like from the ground up.
We got
shout out Matrix Tennis Club. I think it's Matrix Racket Club. I'll show it to you after. It's nice.
Dude.
And it's pretty cool. Like even though we were never like super close back in the day, but we were relatively good friends, and so it's cool to see how her life is transformed with that. I'm certain other people hit. I don't keep up with really many of them, except for Victoria, I would say regularly.
So at least half of them are still playing that or still in the game.
Yeah, probably so. I think.
I'm sure more of them can.
Some of them like they would train with us during the school months, September to June, and then they would go to Bolletary in the summer. I mean, it was intense. Again, I did not come up from that level. Okay, that was not me. I was just there, soaking it all in, losing 0-0 to people all the time.
But I think the differentiator for you versus other 4.0s and 4.5s around here is that you come from a crop of people, so you know what good tennis is.
Yeah,
which most people would interpret that as they would think that it would transfer down to you as being better than everyone, but you're good at balancing that out. So
yeah, I think it's different. Honestly, I mean, it's just different. Growing up in that environment, it was super competitive. People who were honestly incredible. I mean, you just play people that are so gifted at tennis. Not that, I mean, I wasn't terrible, but I mean, compared to them, I was pretty trash. So it was hard to keep up, and it put things into perspective. Like, dang, I have a lot of work to do. And like, but even people like Victoria, for example, she's still in like wicked shape and so freaking good. Yeah. And I know she played D1, she's incredible, but it's just like, you know, their levels just stay. Like, you know, they have that level of discipline, that level of training. It stays for a long time.
Yeah, if you can play tennis, you can play tennis. But if you can play tennis, you're going to play tennis your whole life. Yeah. And you can tell.
So our upbringings were a little bit different. I didn't grow up on the streets. Vroom, vroom. But we still got to the same point. So pretty cool. Let's try.
So that's to say for kids that are watching is that, and the parents of kids, is that you can go country club, you can go high-level training, you can go to the streets, you can play public courts, but you can always converge into the middle, right? Because at the end of the day, only a few percentage of people go pro. A little bit bigger go D1, bigger goes D3, but I think I saw the stat was like 9% of people are 4.5 and above.
Yeah.
Like 2% is 5.0 and above, and the rest are 4 and below.
I think it comes down to your determination, your commitment, and I think that if you have that, you can always learn stroke production and technique and stuff. I mean, that's important to have a good foundation, but if you're committed, you'll learn it. Yeah. And if you're determined.
It's never too late to get better.
Yes,
To
like us.
try new
We're
things.
doing that all the time. All right, so let's talk about our equipment. Before we even get started, we just need to say that Yonex,
We have you on the spotlight. 'Cause
literally,
we respect you.
we have collectively helped so many people switch to Yonex. So if you would like to sponsor us, we would appreciate it. If
We
you
have
like,
some proof.
yes, yeah, we really love Yonex equipment. But anyway, so you can go first. So,
Yeah, so while he talks, I'm going to grab my Yonex equipment.
okay, YONEX Yonex. Okay.
So we're going to go over our gear just at a high level and show what we play with and what floats our boat with the
Not a
equipment.
bag check today. That's another video, folks.
Yeah, that's right. So we have some nice bags. So Yonex, props to you for this cool bag that I got. So you'll see in our color combinations that I'm the plain Jane, shall I say.
And he had like this Ratchet, like other brand bag.
What was my bag?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
It was
bad.
trash.
Yeah.
But I was like, you have
it
to,
was
if
nice
you're
one.
playing with Yonex rackets, you have to switch to a Yonex bag.
So with James, I was gonna say that in our second meeting, our second practice at that school, after I got my butt beat by James, he was able to share his knowledge about rackets, and I think he said my racket was trash, like he said about some other stuff I had.
I just get right to it. I don't hold back. It's just it's good or garbage.
He was an ambassador of Yonex back in 2019, and he had the Yonex F97
Tour
VCORE,
F97
Tour
VCORE.
F97 VCORE.
That's like kind of what brought us together. Sort of.
Really. So I ended up trying it and I liked it. So I actually bought a couple off of James, and that was my beginning of the evolution of how to understand how rackets play. So from that, I've been through 2 more Yonex generations, and I'm now at the latest Yonex VCORE, which is the Yonex VCORE 98, which is the latest one from 2023. So like I said, I went through his, I went the one he plays with now, and I went with the latest iteration, which was not very good. I ended up with the VCORE 98 here. I use Luxlon Alu Power strings, strung at 48 to 50, depending on how I feel, and the lovely Wilson Pro Overgrip.
The only good No, I'm sure there's other good ones, as long as it's not Turner Grip. Just, if you are a viewer and you use Turner Grip, it's time to sign off.
Shame
I mean,
on you.
no offense, but
Yeah, so love the racket. Play test with James to see if I'd love something else, but we've been through a lot. James will tell you the number probably, but I tried to go away from this, and I actually bought a racket, didn't like it, and I sold it, and I came back to this one. I tried the 95 for more control, but as an older dude, I need the natural power, natural spin that comes with this, and adding the new strings, which I added like maybe 2 months ago, and I played with the match, played really well, all court game, and so I stuck with it. That's what I play with.
what about your shoes?
My shoes. So I'm a big Nike guy, big on brand loyalty. So you'll see, got double Nike on me today, and I got my own shirt by on the.
His underwear is.
It's not, but what I wear on my feet,
Wow.
Nike shoes. I play with the Nike Air Zoom Vapor 10s, which aren't the latest ones, but these are the ones I like the most. So I counted this morning how many shoes I have.
Oh yeah, let's hear the number.
26.
Not enough.
26
he's really
playable
running
shoes. Maybe half of them are kind of like on their last half of life. Most of them are.
Insane. I have 1 pair of tennis shoes.
James plays 7 times more per week, so I play once a week maybe. I teach maybe 7 days a week, but I don't play. But a lot of them are these. I also have some of the latest, the newer versions, the Air Vapor Pros, and then you'll see actually here. Of my 26 shoes, a lot of them are the older ones I have to buy on the black market, and I'm gonna someday move to these maybe. Nike Air Zoom Vapor 11s, which are pretty fly.
I saw someone with the green cosmetic this morning, like the
Really?
white, and it's like white.
Oh yeah.
It was nice.
It was nice, yeah.
It was. I don't know how the sole would last. Like I don't know enough about
Right.
Nike shoes, but it was a nice cosmetic.
These are pretty sexy.
They are.
If you wear these, let me know how they feel, because I haven't tried them. I plan to wear these as like daily street shoes, and just wear now that it's
The
fall season.
streets.
Wearing with sweatpants and hoodies and all that stuff. So I'm gonna throw them on now and see how they feel. I haven't actually worn these on the court. I've actually not worn these ever.
Live play test.
But they definitely are wider than these shoes. They're not as snug, and they're wider up above. So I don't know if they're gonna feel as sleek as these do, which is a bummer, which is why I've stayed with these 26 pairs of shoes.
That's insane.
I'm gonna ride these out as long as I can.
I want to say that I was listening to a podcast. I know Dimitrov. I don't know if he likes the 10s or the 9s.
He was wearing them at DC.
Well, when you're Dimitrov, I think that Nike will make you the old shoe.
Yeah.
So
If they were better quality on the soles, and I think just a better, more durable, and maybe the fit's not good for you.
Yeah.
They have so many more options, I think, color-wise, that I'm very surprised you don't like these. But you can go into what you wear and why you don't wear Nikes. Cause
Okay.
I can't sell you like you sell me on Yonex.
No, he cannot.
All right, so I'm going to slide these on, and James is going to tell us what he wears on his feet.
Sliding them on. We're not on the streets right now, y'all. Okay, so what do I use? So I'll pull my bag over as well.
Let me guess, Yonex.
So we can already tell the different personalities here just by the bags. Right now, I use Old Faithful Yonex VCORE 98s, the 2018 version. I've tried one in between ours, which was terrible. It wasn't it wasn't good.
It totally went off.
It felt really
brand.
stiff, like not flexible at all, which I feel like that's like their staple is flex.
Yeah.
And yeah, just being able to swing. I don't know. It just felt really strange. I've tried JRs and I just can't get myself to make the switch to that racket. But I play with Volkl Cyclone at 52 pounds. I've tried a lot of different strings and a lot of different rackets, and so I've been here for several years now. I have a lot of these because I didn't think I was going to be able to find anything that would replace this, at least not in the near future. And so it's been a good relationship, not only with Yonex rackets, and I should specify that a couple of my friends from that crew from long ago, when I was growing up, a lot of them were sponsored by Yonex too, so I would get like their hand-me-downs, and that was really helpful.
Do you have any of those same rackets?
Oh,
still?
I'm sure.
Your
In
parents
my
have
parents'
them?
house,
Yeah.
yeah. I could probably like,
Oh.
if I go back to their house tonight, because it's my mom's birthday, shout out.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
I will see if I can find. I know there's one
That'd be
in
cool.
particular. Yeah.
Really?
I'll try to find it. Yeah. So I play with this racket, and then.
So just to explain why that works for him so well is that if you watch the videos, James has a very loopy swing, which he has massive spin, which is in line with these Yonex VCORE rackets. So as a 4-0 appeal, who's probably can play 4-5 very competitively, and he whooped my butt years ago. But as he goes forward to keep on ascending, he's going to play better players, hit the ball faster, all that stuff. So we've been looking to try to level him up or find something different to help him, make that transition up.
Which we'll see in a second.
Yeah.
For shoes, I play with.
Oh, that thing came out of nowhere.
A6 Solution Speed FF2s. It pairs with my bag, very bright like me, but honestly the other colors were terrible. So A6, white, no, that's a no-go. We need to keep the colors going. I'm not saying I love this color, but a white and black shoe that looks like I'm going to go mow the lawn, so no thanks. This is flashy. So that's my shoe. I also use Wilson Pro Over
Look
Grip.
at that grip. James.
I mean, it is brand
That does not
new.
like you.
No, I do like it when it's like a day.
Yeah, it's got some.
Maybe like not a day, but no, it was, I don't know how old this is. But anyway, so one of the key topic of this podcast is my racket, because as you can see, I've been by this trusty VCORE for a while. And I remember I demoed it with you once, like years ago, and I didn't like it. I had the Tour F97. I think I broke 2 of them or something. And I remember I was like, okay, I need to switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me try this one again. And we tried it, and I was like, oh, wow, I really like this.
Yeah, I remember that now.
So
That's right.
we have been demoing rackets for about a month.
Watch the
now.
videos.
Watch the videos. Yeah, you'll. If you've been watching the videos, you know what I'm about to say. But if you haven't been watching the videos, we've demoed like 25 rackets. I think it's 25, 24, 26, something like that amount of rackets. It's
Beyond
been a
that,
lot.
but
It's
yeah.
been a lot of rackets. We've gotten them restrung. If we even remotely like them, I get them restrung because you need to string them with your string and setup, and so it's.
But you can kind of know when it's in your hand if you like it or not, right? And a lot of them with James, he's very particular on what he likes, and he's at the level where he can understand what he likes and what he doesn't like and what can benefit him.
Mm-hmm.
So if a racket makes it past his hand and on the court for 2 minutes, that's a good thing for him.
I'm definitely quick to say I love it or I hate it very quickly.
Yeah.
There's no. It's either good or garbage. There's no in between. So we're going to find out in a second. So let's see what's happening.
Put some love in the comments and let us know what you guys play with and how you feel about the Yonex.
Oh yeah, I would like
product
to.
line just
I
in
always like
general.
to hear people's string setup and stuff, and definitely what you think about Yonex rackets. I mean, I'm biased, but
Yonex is making a big push on the tour, and with the way that they make
so.
these beautiful rackets, it's a distinguisher for them. And something that for me that makes them so unique for me, that is comfortable for me, is their handle is so unique. I can close my eyes and grab one of these versus a Wilson versus whatever racket, and I can always come back to this and like, oh, this
the
feels
handle is really
good in
nice.
the head, yeah.
When I hit with other handle, well, other rackets, you can tell, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Yonex
Yeah, it's
handles.
crazy.
I think maybe too because I play with them forever. There's been like no change in the handle. Maybe I'm sure that there
Right.
has been, but for me, it feels the same across every generation, and it's just so comfortable.
And their
it's
quality
like,
control is like amazing.
and your handle, like, that makes a difference, like how you grip. I mean, I know I'm gonna have a semi-western grip on my forehand with any racket I play with, but just the way that the handle molds into your hand is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So the racket that I'm gonna be switching to is, dun, 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 let's open it up, the Yonex VCORE, no, the Yonex Percept 100. So
little wobble wobble there.
wobble wobble, baby, that's streets. So we tried all the Percepts, 97, 97H. I mean, I didn't really try that because it's too heavy, but 100D, 100. Is there any more? I think there's
97, 97H, 97D, 100, 100D.
We tried them all.
Yeah.
And so first
The D being dense, H being
Yes.
heavy.
So this is the Yonex Percept 100. It's a 16 by 19, or has a 16 by 19 string pattern. It's 100 square inches, and it's 300 grams unstrung. So probably like 11.1, 11.2 strung. For me, this is just beautiful, okay? There will be nothing, quite like this racket. But the Percept gives me a lot of easy depth on my shots. Compared to this one, I think my shots go a little bit higher maybe, but they land shorter in the court. But with this racket, I get easy depth, easy pop on the ball. Not that I necessarily need more power, but just having more throughness into the court versus as much spin as I get with that. It's muted, but I don't mind that actually. And when I hit a really good shot, it is a very nice feeling. Don't know how to explain it exactly, but I can still redirect people's balls, without many issues.
Watched the video. He did it to me a couple times. Moving
him around on the streets. But yeah, so it's been a long process trying to find a racket to switch to. It's just been an experience to say the least.
And this was a big thing for James to do. It took him a lot of encouragement, a lot of play tests with not just me, but I was a main proponent and supporter of him just trying things out and knowing his game, knowing his personality, all that stuff. Because there's a financial part of it, of course, but the technical part of it was the biggest thing. And we're so nuanced with him playing so often that we gotta dial it in because he's going to nationals in 2 or 3 weeks, right?
3, I think. Yeah.
You want to get him tuned up to maximize his performance.
And your racket is really an extension of you, I think, and so it really needs to be in tune with how you play. And I try to play pretty aggressive, and so this just really lends itself well to how I play. It's been a positive. I mean, obviously I haven't gotten it strung yet, but the demo was a positive experience. But there's another change coming, so we'll just put this here. There you go. The second thing that I'm switching, it's strings. I've played with Cyclone the same amount of times that I've played with the VCORE, any VCORE, and I've tried a lot of string. I've hated a lot of string. I mean, again, like JR says, I try it and then I'm like, this is terrible.
This is trash. Nope, this is trash.
I mean, I just know quickly, like if it's gonna work out or not. And
most of the time he's right though. If I try it too, right? And we have totally different games, but I feel the same kind of feedback as him. So he's not just talking trash to say it's trash.
But we went to the City Open this year, and I talked to the yes, it was a lot of fun. But I talked to the Technofiber rep, and he told me to try a couple of different strings. I think it was Razor Code, Black Code, and then Ice Code. And I find that because I have a whippier or loopier stroke production and I swing very fast, this gives me a lot of spin. I felt like my shots compared to Cyclone were landing. I just made less mistakes. I really don't know how else to say that. I mean, the balls just were more reliable, still getting that depth, but landing really close to the baseline. I was getting a lot of depth on my shots and a little bit more power for some reason. I don't know why that would be the case. But even when I would hit like kick serves or slice serves or just anything with spin, I noticed that it had the ball just had more bite to it or just more reaction on it. So, that I'll string this at 52 pounds, maybe 51 to give myself just a little bit more spin on that Percept racket. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I've never had a real string before. Surprisingly, as much I've gone through so many, I break strings very quickly.
He's
Not because
so
I'm
bad.
good, because
For
I
Christmas,
play so
he
much.
wishes for Volkl Cyclone strings, and
I
he
know,
gets them.
I always ask my parents, I'm like, I need 10 packs of string because I go through so many. I go through, like, if I play like 5 or 6 days a week, which is what I do now, I break a string like once a week. It's crazy. So I'll be switching to this and hopefully getting it strung up today.
Chris.
We'll see. I got a league match tomorrow, so let's get it strung, please. So switching to Technofiber Ice Code 17 gauge. Going to be probably at 52 pounds to start, and then I'll tinker from there. And then, yeah, Yonex Percept 100.
So I think we should bless our trophy over there. Out with the old, in with the new. So I will help you update our display over there with the new Yonex Percept 100.
And you know, I've never played with a 100 square inch racket before.
Yeah, I was very
so
surprised.
It doesn't even, you know, honestly, it doesn't even feel like a 100 square inch racket or look like 100 to me anyway. Even with the beam size, I know it's a little bit thicker, I guess, than my VCOREs. It was a good experience. I'm telling you guys, I've tried so many rackets. I even told him recently, I'm just over demoing rackets.
Like I have 3 at home, and I'm like, okay, I'm over it.
I even explored getting more of these. Like I was like, maybe I'll try to find more. Like, but there's no, they're so old. I can't replace the head guards. It's a hopeless cause. Yeah. So I knew it was time to switch, and so here we are. We will document my experience, and we'll see how it goes.
If I could go to nationals with you, I would go, and I'd bring my Yonex banner with our CoVA tennis gear.
That would
sponsor us,
please, Yonex. We need a sponsor. But yeah, so that's my equipment change. Just a racket and the strings, but
and the bag will follow soon.
If they release a Percept, I've seen like
I think they
Tiafo and Hercatch, they've been carrying around that mint bag.
Yeah, is
that mint green bag, and I'm like, oof. I really like this bag. I get a lot of compliments on it, but the mint green bag to match the racket, it just is like a vibe, you know. And I'm all about the vibes.
Was it coincidence the ice code matches the racket?
On the streets, y'all.
That's right. So well, cheers to James making a big move, and hopefully he levels up his game as he levels up his racket game.
We'll see. We'll see. We're back. So we wanted to answer, we had a couple of questions. We're not going to get to them all today. The questions from our other viewers will be in future podcasts. We'll incorporate like 2 or 3 or 4 questions per podcast.
So if you have any comment below or send us an email, hit us up on IG, Facebook, Venmo.
Venmo, yes. I love donations. Okay, so the first question, let's do your thoughts on coaching in the pros.
So coaching the pros. So I'm a tennis coach, aside from being an engineer, content creator, business owner. I'm a tennis coach on the side, teach a lot of kids. I would love to be able to teach kids as they're on the court, right? But as growing up in our eras where we have to do it on our own, right? It's isolated sport when you're on the court, at least. The beauty of tennis is you're on your own. You got to figure things on your out. You got to grow on the court in the moment, right? So as a coach, I'd love for that to be also levied on the pros, right? But I get that a lot of the pros are international now, so they can speak their language that will go under the English radar, so we can't always catch it. So I think it's just kind of a happy medium for them to allow it to happen and not have to legislate it on the court, right? But they shouldn't need it. But I'm not totally against it happening, right? Because it's going to happen anyways. But
it's going to.
Pros are pros for a reason, right? We're amateurs for a reason. And if we can play a USTA match without having our captain or wife, friend, whoever, give us some coaching on the side, why not have the same for the pros? Yeah,
I think, and I should say this is from Kartik, so thank you, Kartik, for this question. I think that I don't have much thought either way on this. I think it just needs to be a uniform rule, but if it were me, I would allow coaching in team events like Billie Jean King Cup or Davis Cup or United Cup. I think that's cool because your team is literally right there.
Yeah, so, that's what makes it cool. Right?
Or maybe you don't even allow the coach, like your actual coach, to coach you. You would, in those scenarios, you allow your teammates to coach you. Yeah. Like Labor Cup, I think that's really cool, right? On the tour, like in matches, I think that you're a pro, right? You're at the peak level of sport, and I think that you should be able to problem solve on your own.
Yeah.
I think that, of course, you can't avoid it, right? People are going to be doing coaching on the line, saying, whatever, this means hit to the forehand. I mean, who knows, right?
But everyone does that. I mean, if you're a coach or you're a parent, I'm like, I do everything I can to not move, but you want to do this or you want to do this or hit to the side, whatever kind of signal, right? But if you're blatantly talking to them and they spend time staring at you in the box, it's like, okay. As a viewer, they say it when you watch U.S. Open, it's like, okay, this is out of hand, right? Yeah,
it's just something. I don't want to say it's more admirable, but it kind of is if you can problem solve on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you have players like, let's just say Serena, for example, she was so dominant for so many years. I mean, that's because she was able to problem solve on her own and
Yeah.
beat all these other players.
Yeah.
It was her ability and her way to figure the match out on her own and get across the finish line was something to make note of. And I think that when I play tennis, like when I play matches, I mean, you guys are watching on the side, right? Like if we're at sectionals or regionals or something, but I don't look at you guys. Like I don't want any feedback. I don't even want to be tempted. Like I just want to look at the ground or at my strings or whatever. But also like the way I grew up, we were taught to really look at your strings, reset. One of the ladies who ran the clinic growing up, she was a psychology major in college. I think she has her master's too. So she was really about mental strength and mental fortitude and problem solving and just coming up with solutions on your own.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said about it. I think it differentiates a player, in my opinion, if you can solve a match on your own versus with the help of someone else. I think it says something about you as a player.
Yeah, that 30 seconds in between points is like, that's your time to test you mentally and able to translate it to physical.
Yeah.
Watching kids be able to do that, it's like a beautiful thing to see as a coach. Like
Yeah.
if you can problem solve, that's like, touches my heart that you can do it. And I'm doing my job as a coach, right? And I don't have to tell you this because I'm not going to be with you when you go to college. I'm not going to go if you make it to the pros, and that's not our job. It's your job to do your job, right? So
I think so. So that we only got to answer one question because I really need to leave, but we have several other ones that are really good questions actually. So we will cover them in the next podcast. We may have a guest, we'll see. But yeah, so this is, like I said, our first edition of the CoVA Tennis Brews and Crew podcast. Let us know any thoughts, criticism, any suggestions. Can we decoratively change this around? Should we incorporate seasonal decor now that it's fall? Should we, obviously we're going to have guests, but if you have questions to ask us, please comment them, or you can email us. Maybe you can put your email.
CoVAtennis@gmail.com.
Okay.
If you're in the area, you want to jump on the court with us, where we welcome everybody, and you'll see we're more than just tennis players, right? And we're all just regular people at the end of the day, unless we're at the 0.2% that play pros, right? So
we're on the streets
at
a local high school, so reach out to us if you want to hit with us.
If you want to jump on the podcast, you have a story to share,
let us know.
Come on in. We'll drink I didn't drink my brew because it was just too much fun we had here, but I'll drink this brew next time. But I had my cold brew here.
And cheers,
cheers
to our first episode, CoVA Tennis Brews and Crew. Yay!
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.